All right, guys. So yesterday, the FBI essentially made a tweet in which they encourage friends and family members to snitch on each other for quote unquote suspicious behavior. Now, guys, this is a part of a very, very disturbing trend that we're starting to see, or that we've honestly been seeing for years, but nobody's paid attention to it because it's only been reserved for Islamic extremists. But like I tried to tell you guys, what they do in the name of fighting international terrorism will be used on American citizens. Okay, you give the government an inch, they will take a mile, and this is what's happening. Right now, they're trying to use this for quote unquote domestic extremism. As just a few months ago, actually last month, the Biden administration asked Americans to report potentially radicalized friends and family. So this is something that has come out of Biden administration. Okay, when he was inaugurated, he talked about how he's going to fight back against extremism, white supremacy, basically anything that the left doesn't agree with, right? Anything the left doesn't agree with, they're going to fight back against. And after that, you saw that Facebook started running an experiment in which they were asking people on Facebook to report friends and family, right, who may be extremists. So you have the president basically encouraging people to snitch on their friends and family. And then you have big tech. They go along with that, right, in which they launch a program to try to do that as well. And then you have the FBI coming out saying this. And people still sitting here trying to argue that big tech is not an arm of the government, that they're not working hand in hand, right? That big tech is not working with the Democrat administration. Come on, man. Come on. Like, I mean, how much more evidence do you actually need, right? It's very clear what's going on. Some people just refuse to connect the dots, right? But if you connect the dots, it's obvious what's going on here. So let's read a little bit more about the FBI and their tweet. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI published a tweet on Sunday telling Americans to report their own family members and peers for quote-unquote suspicious behaviors. The FBI tweet read, "Family members and peers are often best positioned to witness signs of motivation to violence. Help prevent homegrown violent extremism. Visit website to learn how to spot suspicious behaviors and report them to the FBI." The tweet included a link to the government booklet that was first written in 2015 on indicators that someone may be contemplating violent action. The booklet states on page 22 that it is focused on individuals or groups inspired by Islamic terrorist organizations. Currently, behaviors exist and are noted in this booklet that would be troubling regardless of ideological motivation and may warrant contacting law enforcement. However, this booklet is focused on individuals and groups that are inspired or enabled by foreign terrorist organizations, including but not limited to ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and their affiliates and allies. And this is what I was telling you guys about how when you give the government an inch, even when it comes to foreign policy, right, fighting terrorism overseas, those same technologies, the same things that they've done over there, they will do to their own citizens if citizens get out of line, okay? And guys, this is similar to the NSA, right? Spying, okay? How they use this technology and they've spied on other countries, okay? And other world leaders. You think they won't spy on their own American citizens? Of course they will, right? They use this technology and they do this in the name of fighting foreign terrorism, but they always turn it back around when the foreign terrorist threats kind of go away, right? Now, that's not the big thing anymore. So now they have to use it somehow, and this is what's happening. It really is. That's a great picture of Teddy Roosevelt, by the way. I just noticed that was an ad there, but that's my boy. That's my boy. I always got to shout out Teddy when I see him. The booklet also states several times that the indicators may be constitutionally protected activities, but if they are observed in combination with other suspicious behaviors, these indicators may raise suspicions and constitute a basis for reporting. The National Counterterrorism Center, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, and the Department of Homeland Security emphasize that many of the indicators described herein may involve constitutionally protected activities and may be insignificant on their own. However, when observed in combination with other suspicious behavior, these indicators may raise suspicion in a reasonable person and constitute a basis for reporting. Law enforcement action should not be taken solely based on the exercise of constitutionally protected rights or on the apparent or actual race, ethnicity, national origin, or religion of the subject, or on combination of these factors, individuals are encouraged to contact law enforcement if, based on these indicators and the situation context, they suspect an individual is mobilizing to violence. You know what's actually pretty funny about that statement, right? They talk about you should report people who are potentially mobilizing to violence. Would that count somebody who is considering participating in a so-called social justice protest? Would it count if somebody was contemplating burning down a police station or looting a local small business or throwing rocks at police officers? Would those people who are contemplating doing that, would they count as domestic terrorists? Because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't as of today. But I guarantee you, if you are somebody that has, certain opinions about certain issues in this country, right, such as election integrity or religious views, or you may or may not be a white male, okay, you may be against critical race theory. If you have certain views, I guarantee you're probably going to check the box of those who they may classify as a potential extremist. That's what it seems like. But again, if you're participating in a social justice protest, or for example, if you call yourself an anti-fascist, right? An anti-fascist, I guarantee you will not fit, because right now we have political extremism going on in Portland, Oregon, almost every single day, in which Antifa has continuously caused disruption and violence, and nobody's done anything about it. Nobody has brought this to the forefront of the political extremism and the political violence that is going on in this country. But everybody wants to talk about things associated with right-wing movements when, like I've told you guys 1,000 times, the biggest event in terms of violence on the right was the Capitol incident. Outside of that, they don't really have nothing. They don't really have anything. But we have numerous examples of extremism on the left that has led to violence, and I guarantee you, these people would not count, right? They would not see these people as a potential threat. And I'm not saying that they should, okay, from a principle standpoint. I'm just saying it's not going to be applied equally, okay? It's not going to be applied equally. They're probably not on the radar. So, you see some conservatives on Twitter slamming this stuff, basically talking about the NSA, talking about how this is unfair, talking about how this is wrong, this is outrageous, FBI telling people to snitch on each other, and this is the thing, I wish these Republicans would talk more about this, right? I really do, because, we do a lot of talking about the culture war, and that's fine, I understand that, I get it, but this NSA spying has been around for a long time. Tucker Carlson just brought it back to our forefront, but why don't they get behind people who have exposed the government violating our rights, like Edward Snowden and Julian Assange? I feel like a lot of people, it's particularly on the right, have actually got behind pardoning them and understand that what they actually did was they actually exposed the government infringing on our rights. But the Republican Party as a whole seems to not be super concerned about that. Because, like I told you guys, this type of stuff was occurring under Republican administrations too, not just under Democrats. Democrats and Republicans to a certain extent are two sides of the same coin. And as much as they complain about this stuff and they can tweet about it, my question is, are they actually going to do anything about it? Because these are the legislators, right? These are legislators. These are the people that make laws. And that's my biggest criticism of the Republican Party when it comes to this stuff. A lot of these guys wouldn't be okay with pardoning Snowden. A lot of them wouldn't at all. Matter of fact, we heard about Mitch McConnell basically warning Trump that if he pardoned Snowden or Assange, that they was going to convict him in his impeachment trial, right? We heard about that. So like I said, guys, obviously this is an issue. And I just wish that the Republicans were actually really serious about protecting our constitutional rights as much as they say. Because again, these people are in charge of government. This is what they really should be talking about. This is what one of the biggest issues should be right now, is the unconstitutional spying and this whole culture of, trying to rat out extremism, domestic extremists in this country, right? Which is basically just a violation of people's rights and freedom of speech. That's what it is. And again, I'm not saying that extremism is not an issue and that we shouldn't try to prevent political violence, but I think there's a fine line that has to be walked here, right? There's a fine line that has to be walked in which we don't violate people's rights in the name of, trying to combat domestic extremism, because that ultimately is what leads to an authoritarian type government in which it seems like we're headed there, that looks like Cuba, right? That looks like China, in which they openly spy on their citizens, which they openly have a social snitching system that sounds a lot like what the FBI and Facebook and Biden administration want. That's what it sounds like. And this is direction that we seem to be heading unless the Republican Party can actually get their ish together. But who knows? They could be on board with it. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.